Hey Glow Elves, this is the third part of my Pretty AF series, and today we're talking all about hair. So, for the record, I'm not a dermatologist or a hair specialist or a hairstylist, but I am going to share with you all of the things that I've done over the years with my hair and my current hair routine and give you the details on what I have installed right now. So I believe in my last video, I told y'all I may have new hair when I recorded the next video. So this is the new year. This is the new hair. This is the new hair, and I will be telling you all about it in this video. So I've always gotten compliments on my hair. I would say it's probably because I'm a stickler when it comes to washing my hair every 2 weeks, finding a hairstylist as soon as I move to a new city, and getting the best hairstylist and buying the best hair and hair products I can afford. I don't think there's any secret to that. For me, I typically will have two different styles. I alternate between some type of a sew-in or braids. I'll typically wear braids during the summer or for a specific vacation where I want to be able to get in all the pools, all the beaches, be as low maintenance as possible. I'll insert some pictures here of me with different braid styles over the last couple years. But I really like the boho braid style. Typically, I'll go knotless braids. And for me, I'll make sure they're not too long. I really don't like to go past, say my bust area. So for me, it's important to have them long enough to be able to wear different styles, but not too long to where I'm sitting on them, if you understand what I'm saying. So when I'm wearing braids, there are a couple things that I do to care for my braids. I will typically make sure that I have a misting bottle with a little bit of conditioner and water. So sort of like a liquid conditioner spray. And I really like this bottle. This is the one that's like it sprays like it has the suction in it, that it's a long spraying bottle. I'll link this below because I literally got this one from Amazon. I believe, yeah, got it from Amazon. And then the conditioner I use in there is the same conditioner that I typically either use on my sew-in hair, if it's a curly texture like I have now, or it's a conditioner that I use when I wash my hair. So when it comes to washing my hair and the products I use to wash my hair, just so you know, I like design essential products. This is also what most of my stylists over the years have used. So I use the almond and avocado brand or series because I'm 100% natural. So for me, even when I'm wearing sew-ins and I have some of my leave out, it's very important that the hair that I have left out is heat treated. It is healthy because I am 100% natural, and my hair very easily reverts back to its natural state if I'm in like a very high humid environment. But anyway, these are the two wash and conditioner products that I use. So when I'm wearing my braids, I'll put a couple drops of this in my spray bottle with some water, and I will use that to keep my braids and the curly pieces from the boho hair moisturized and easy to detangle, and I'll also use it on my scalp. So those are like the products that I use for the braids. I will sometimes go in with the mousse. I've most recently been using for both my braids, because I did have braids about 2 months ago, but also for my curly hair, which I have in now. I will use a mousse or some other type of like holding gel. And so recently I have been using this pattern curl mousse. I got this in a sample kit from Ulta. And so I like it. It smells good. It's not too alcohol heavy. And so I will use this mousse sometimes on my braids or on my curly sew-in as well. So those are braids, okay? I don't keep my braids in for a long time. I'm not trying to grow locks or anything like that, but it is super important for me to be able to get my money's worth because, as you may know, braids are not cheap at all. All right, so braids. So I'd say out of a given year, I'm probably wearing 2 sets of braids for maybe 6 weeks each. So that's somewhere around 3 months. So once I've gotten tired of the braids or I'm just ready to kind of go back to my normal flow of things, that's when I go back to a traditional sew-in. And I'm talking about a sew-in that has a leave out. So my sew-ins that I vary between are going to either be sew-ins with a side part, a middle part, or I've done once or twice a flip over. So right now in my hair, this is my new vacation hair because coming up soon will be a vlog about my trip to Jamaica with my sister. So I wanted some curly, pretty vacation hair. And so for this installation, I bought new hair, and I'll talk about that in a minute. I know I keep saying I'll talk about it in a minute, but I have to give you the lowdown on this hair. This hair is amazing. But anyway, so I wanted some curly hair. And so I also wanted it to be a style that if I wanted to straighten the curly hair and wear it in a more traditional sort of like body wave or just like blowout texture, I could do that. So instead of doing what I probably would do with my curly hair, instead of doing one of those flip over installations, I did a somewhat high part. It's not a side, it's not a middle, it's like a high side part with just a little bit of leave out. And so I never leave my back out. I always just leave like the perimeter of my front out. But I love sew-ins because for me, I consider them to be protective. I'd say 80%, 90% of my hair is braided. It's underneath the tracks. And my hairstylist, she does not braid too tight. So I don't feel like a lot of tension. I don't get headaches. And I don't feel like my hair is breaking off underneath. And so when I have sew-ins done, I will typically go to my hairstylist every 2 weeks. Yes, I can wash my hair at home myself every 2 weeks, and sometimes I do. And when I do, I use these products along with sometimes this hair mask. It's a Trader Joe shea butter and coconut oil hair mask. It's really good. But if I'm doing my hair myself, meaning washing my hair myself, I'll use these two products. And I have a blow dryer hood cap that I'll use. But for the most part, I typically just go to my hairstylist and get a wash and style every 2 weeks that I have my sew-in in. And obviously, she also does my initial installation of my sew-in, the takedown of the previous sew-in, all that good stuff. But with that said, I love having sew-ins. For me, it's like the most low maintenance hairstyle. Even when I have a high maintenance hair texture in, which is kind of what I have now, I still feel like it's low maintenance. I guess because I've been wearing them so many years and I just know what to do in order to take really good care of them. So what are the things that I do to take care of my sew-ins? So for me, first, it starts out with consistently keeping my roots and my natural hair under the sew-in moisturized. So I use a braid oil, or I use an oil with a spout. I call it a braid oil because that's typically how they're marketed. But the one I'm using most recently is this Dew Growth stimulating hair oil. I like it because it has a spout. And I've used lots of the different varieties of these. They have a green one, I think, that has tea tree oil in it. Still has the same spout applicator. These are easy to find, and they allow me to kind of get really in between the braids when I want to go through and make sure that my natural hair is moisturized under the tracks. So this is what I'll use on the roots of my hair. Now for my leave out and for my extension hair, it's also important to keep those things moisturized. So what I'll typically do is for my leave out, I'll always ensure that I use some type of heat protecting spray, because whether or not I'm using a crimper to make my leave out blend with my curly hair installation, or if I'm using a flat iron and have my leave out blend with my more straight or body wave installation, I always want to make sure my natural hair is protected. So this one from Moroccan Oil, it's the Perfect Defense hair heat protector, is really good. I like it because it's an aerosol spray, because sometimes those hair protecting sprays are like real liquidy, and if you don't make sure your hair is dry before you apply the heating tool to it, you will burn your hair. So I like this because it's aerosol, it's light, and it dries very quickly. Plus, you don't have to go crazy on this stuff. Like a little bit really does go a long way, but I use this heat protectant. And then for the hair oil though, I love this stuff. This is probably like my fourth or fifth bottle. So this is the We or the Away. I don't know how you pronounce it, to be honest with you, but it's the hair oil. It's spelled Ouai. I'll link it below. I get this from Sephora. And like I said, this is like my third or fourth bottle. And I love the way it smells. I like that it's light. I like that It smells good. It's super light. It doesn't feel heavy. I like that when I put it on, it just feels like it's just silky and glistening. And so I use this hair oil as sort of like the finishing part of my hairstyling. So this is the hair oil I use on the leave out and on the extension hair. So another thing to add is I color my hair around the perimeter and the leave out. Over the years, your girl is starting to go gray. Now, not serious gray, more like around the edges and streaks here or there. And as I have said, I am going to fight the good fight for as long as possible. You do you. If you like your gray, keep your gray. For me, I like to keep it black or dark brown. And so I do get my hair colored typically during the time that I'm getting the sew-in taken down and a new one installed. And so to keep that refreshed for those like 6 to 8 weeks, I'll keep the sew-in installed. I will use a few products to help with that. This is one that I use specifically around my hairline. It does a couple things. It's the Quick Cover Root Touch Up. This one is in the color black, if you can see that. And I use this one. It's like a mascara brush. And I like this one because it allows you to just really gently like brush the hairs around the perimeter. And so it adds that piece of color, and you can be very strategic with it if there are like some grays popping up around the edges that you want, or the root area that you want to cover. But I also like it because it's like a gel almost. It's like a thick, maybe not a gel. It's like a thick paste. And it's like almost like an edge control situation. So it's something that when you put it on there, it also helps to smooth the hair down so you don't have the flyaways that you might typically have. So I like this, and this is what I typically use most days of the week if I feel like I need something to help with the roots or the edges. But when I first get my hair installed, because I have started to experience over the years a little bit of thinning, not so much my edges, but definitely like where I have my leave out typically going, but just also near the crown of my head. So if I have leave out open near the crown of my head, I will add this Topic hair building fibers. You can find this in Walgreens, Ulta, really almost anywhere. And so I like this because it allows me like to part where the thinning or you can kind of almost see my scalp, and I can just like douse it on top of there and then brush the hair back over. And it just shows less scalp, I mean, when we have our sew-ins and we don't want to be giving scalp, we want to be giving full hair. So this really helps me do that. And so these are the two products that I use in addition to the professional hair coloring I get done at my stylist. So those are the products for color. And then as far as hair tools, let me get into the hair tools bit. So when I am wearing braids, there are no hair tools. I will tell you, when I am washing my hair every 2 weeks or so with my braids, I will use this. I use this even when I'm washing my own hair at home with the sew-in. If it comes to that, I try not to, but if it comes to that. And I like this because it allows you to really kind of get into your scalp, massage your scalp. And this is just a little shampoo massager brush. I'm not even sure where I got this from, y'all. It might have been Target or something, maybe Ulta. I don't remember, but it's number one, it feels good. That you put a little bit of shampoo on here and you just really kind of work it into whatever it is you're trying to massage and clean out. Very, very good, very thorough. And in addition to that, I will use appliances. Okay, and so when I'm wearing a straight or like wavy, like body wave, like blowout type sew-in, I need a flat iron, right? I don't use like large barrel curling irons. I have them, but because I've gotten so used to this Babyliss. This is the Babyliss Prima 3000 Pro. I love this curling iron. This is my second curling iron. I probably would have been fine with just one, but my dog chewed through the cord and I had to replace it. But I immediately knew I was going to replace it with the same exact one. And so I've had this one for about 4 years. But I love this. I love this flat iron because it has the barrel that allows you to focus on flattening, like straight, like flat ironing the hair, right? But the exterior pieces of it are also heated. So if you want to curl it, all you got to do is turn that wrist and you can create like, good size barrel curls. So love this flat iron, highly recommend. So I use that when I have a traditional like straight sewing in. Now, I try not to put heat on my hair too often. That means heat on my natural hair or my sew-in extension hair. So I will on occasion use the heatless curls, especially if I'm traveling or I have like a big good thing and I really want like extra va 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 boom curls. I will use this. This is awesome. If y'all want a tutorial on how to use this, let me know. Although I'm sure there's lots of videos already on YouTube on how to use this, but I love this. I probably need to get another one because it's a little beat up and overbent, but I love using the heatless curlers and sleeping in this overnight because when you wake up, you pull it out and the hair is giving all the curls. But so these are what I use typically when I have, like I said, a straighter sew-in. But when I have a sew-in like the one I have now, this is what I do. Now, let me go into the specs of the hair first. Okay. So there's a story behind this here. Now, wet and wavy, water wave, curly hair comes in lots of different patterns, lots of different qualities. I have spent quite a money over the years on extension hair. And what I've noticed is that if it's like a body wave or straight, it doesn't have to be like the super, super, super best quality because you're straightening it. There's certain things you're doing to it at night to keep it protected. And because it's straight, it doesn't tangle and you don't have to worry about brushing it and then worrying about over shedding. But what you don't want to do is you do not want to get cheap curly hair. I have gotten some cheap curly hair, some from Amazon, some from other like hair brokers before, and it was a pain in the butt. It's like you could only wear the hair once. Every time you washed it or you even went to detangle it, you felt like half of the hair was ending up in the brush, and I was like, never again. And so I knew that I wanted to invest in some really good quality hair. I feel like I have some really good quality straight and body wave hair that I use when I have my straighter installs, hair that I've reused for like, 3-4 times and could reuse again, especially since I've invested in getting them colored, the color I like. But I didn't have any good quality wavy or curly hair. So if any of you are familiar with the brand Yummy Hair Extensions is a high-end hair manufacturer, hair or weave manufacturer, and their bundles of wefted hair are not cheap. And so there have been a couple times I thought about investing in it, and I was like, there's no way I'm spending that much money for hair. But they had a semi-annual sale last week. No, not last week. 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. And I was like, I've got to get it. I'm going to get it. I'm going to pull the trigger and buy the hair. And so what I got were 3 bundles. I got a 22, a 20, and an 18 inch because we like long hair around here. If you don't like long hair, that's okay. Do you? I like hair. So I wanted something that was longer, something that if I decided I needed to trim a few inches off of it to give it a bit more movement or whatever, I could, and I would still have the kind of length that I'm used to. So I got a 22, a 20, and an 18 inch of their C Wavy Opulence. It's raw hair. And when I tell you that this is the best curly wavy hair I have ever purchased, I kid you not. Now, I will preface this by saying I ordered 3 bundles of the C Opulence Wavy, but what they sent me was 2 bundles of the C Opulence Wavy and 1 bundle of their Burmese Curly. But in talking with my stylist, she was like, well, that works out well. She says, because she has a lot of clients, because they want the curl to look natural, and the curl in our natural hair isn't always the same exact, definition. She said they will purposely buy mixed types of curl bundles. And so I decided to make a big deal about it. Plus I didn't want to like stall and prevent my install from happening when I needed to for my vacation. So I went ahead and did it. And I'm glad I did because I honestly, y'all, I can't tell the difference. So I wound up getting a 22 inch C Opulence Wavy, a 22 inch C Opulence Wavy, a 20 inch Burmese Curly, and an 18 inch C Opulence Wavy. And when I tell you I love this hair, I love this hair. So what I've been doing, and you just saw, I at night I will split it in half, okay? And I will take my unbrush. This is the best detangling brush that I've found. And this is the unbrush that's for like deep, thick, wavy hair. I'll slightly damp it. I'll brush through it and make sure all the tangles are there. And this hair has very minimal shedding. Now, we'll tangle a little bit, but minimal shedding. When I'm brushing through it, the tangles come out very easily. And then once I've gone through and I've detangled it and it's slightly damp, not wet, but it's slightly damp, I'll put a little bit of this Trader Joe's shea butter and coconut oil hair serum. So I think you saw earlier where I showed you I like the hair mask. Well, this hair serum is really nice. I like to put it on slightly damp hair and I'll braid it into this plait because when it dries, it's a little shiny, not too shiny, just a little shiny, but the braids, the waves are really defined. So if you can see that, that is just me taking the plait out, having, left them in overnight. I did just come back from the gym, so, I did sweat a little bit, but it's just, I just love it. I love the hair. I love the method I've discovered with like putting it into two big braids and just like putting a little rubber band at the end. And I tie it down and that's how I sleep in it at night. And so when I'm ready to style it, I'll typically just wear it like this. So you can see my leave out is pretty straight, right? But I mean, it's the same color as the hair, so it blends pretty good. I'm fine every day, but when I'm like going out or I want to do that little extra voom, I will add waves to my natural leave out hair to blend in with the extensions. And to do that, I use a crimper. So this is where using that heat protectant is important. Now, I've seen people use the little hair rods. Some people will just, like braid their hair. And then once their hair dries or it's been sitting for a while, they'll unbraid it. And I'm sure that will work. But for me, I like to be able to manipulate where the wave starts and all that. And so this little very cheap crimper I got from Amazon comes into to play. So this is the only hot tool I'm using with this type of hair that I'm using. And so I have installed now on me. So yeah, so love that. And then and then it does what it does. I just love how it's already sort of layered because I did the 22, 20, and 18 inch. She did put a few layers around my face, but I didn't want her to go crazy. But yeah, I love this hair. I love the texture of it. I love the maintenance and quality of it. I can't wait to wear it straightened. I think I will probably do that when I go to her in another week to get it washed and styled. I may just wear it straightened for those 2 weeks just so I can see what that feels like. But love the hair. So Yummy hair extensions, See Opulence Wavy, or Burmese curl. You'll be able to see on the website the differences in the textures. So that's what I have installed right now, and that's what the hair is looking like. Before I wrap up this video, let me just leave you with a few more tips around hair care so you can remain pretty AF, because your hair is an investment, obviously financially, depending on your hairstyle, but clearly in time, right? And it's an investment in your beauty. And so for me, I know that part of any investment isn't just setting it and forgetting it, it's maintaining it, right? And so a few things that I do without fail. I do this to me, I've always done it, it seems like, but I'm sure it's just been like a habit over the years. There are a few things that I do that I think also help my sew-ins or my braids not only last longer, but look good while they're in my hair, on my head longer. So the one thing, it may seem obvious, but you will be surprised by how many people don't do this. And honestly, this doesn't matter if you're African American like me, or you're Caucasian, or you're Hispanic. If you're not washing your hair in the shower, sis, you need to be wearing a shower cap, okay? You need to be clipping your hair up, and you need to be wearing a shower cap. This is going to prevent the moisture from the shower or the water getting in your hair. It's going to protect your style. It's going to make your blowouts, if you have a blowout, last longer. Get you a shower cap. Now, for me, I've done the plastic ones, and those are great. I just kind of feel guilty about throwing them out all the time. So what I invested in about a year ago and haven't had replaced yet is this fabric but still water resistant shower cap. I like it. It has like a little cute little knot on the top, but it's fabric. And it has like a soft lining on the inside, so it's not rubbing against or drying out my hair. But this is my shower cap. I travel with this. I use this every day, every shower, even in the bath, every bath, I use my shower cap. So make sure you're using a shower cap. The second thing I would say, and I feel like the community knows about this now, is, well, you know what, before I do that, let me tell you about what I do after I get out the shower. So after I get out the shower and I'm drying myself off, I will take the shower cap off. I will brush my edges flat because sometimes, you know, a little bit of water will kind of get close to your edges under your shower cap. It just happens, especially if you're like, you know, all up in the shower, as you should be. As you should be, because you're washing your body really well, right? Okay. So, but after you use the brush, kind of brush your edges back. And then what I do is I will clip my hair up because, well, it will already be clipped up from under the shower cap. But after I take the shower cap off, I will then brush my edges back and I will put this terry cloth spa band on. So this is like a little terry cloth. It's Velcro connections. But what this does is this allows me, I'm gonna show you. This allows me to keep my hair out of my way as I'm doing my facial routine. It also will soak up and absorb that condensation that may have gotten around your hairline while you were showering. I'll kind of push it a little bit back so you can see it's just a little bit there, but it gives me like this clean facial sort of like palette to work with. So this is where I'm applying my skincare as my final step. I'm starting to do my makeup. I'm doing all the things. And then when you take this off, like your edges are dry, they're nice and flat. And then you can style your hair and add whatever wave, curls, whatever you want to add to it. But this is an extra step that I do after I take the shower cap off to make sure that any water that may have gotten close to my edges are taken care of. So I wanted to make sure I shared that tip with you guys. So that's the shower stuff and the after shower stuff. So for bed, this goes without saying. I feel the community is already on point with this. But in case you didn't know, you should be using a satin bonnet, okay? Sleeping in something that is going to be frictionless on your hair. I think you would have seen in my skincare routine that I sleep on a satin pillowcase already. But in addition to that, now honestly, I do that more for my face, but for my hair, I double wrap my hair. I will put this on as a first layer. This is like a triangular scarf. And so, well, actually, I guess it is more of a square scarf, but I fold it into a triangle. And I will put this over my hair, tie it in the back. And then on top of that, whatever's hanging, whether it's my braids or my curls, I will tuck it and put this on top of that and tie it up in the back. And so this is what I use to keep my hair maintained. You know, like I said, I've been doing it so long. It's just one of the things that I've gotten used to doing. And last but not least, this is my last tip before I wrap this video up, is when you're working out. So when you're working out, it's really important that, you know, you make sure that if you are perspiring, that you at least have the ability to keep your hair as flat and as dry as possible until you can get home and you can blow dry it or do whatever it is you need to do in order to get it freshened up and to get it not so wet. And so I always use some type of headband. Even when I'm like working out and I have a visor on outside, I'll still wear some type of sweat wicking or moisture wicking headband. So this is one that I use. I also have an aloe one, but just make sure you have a headband on, sis. I mean, I know that you want to go into the gym and you want to look cute and you got your cute set. Get you a headband that matches your set so that when you come out of that gym, you don't have to start from zero with your edges and your leave out or whatever it is you're working with and having to put a bunch of heat on your hair, okay? So use this. So those are my tips to stay pretty AF when it comes to my hair. I hope you found some of these helpful, but look for more as far as a Pretty AF series coming. We're going to be talking about diet, supplements, and also just some other random ad hoc tips. And I would recommend that you subscribe because in addition to a couple more videos for this Pretty AF series, I've got a Jamaica travel vlog coming. I've got some other trips coming up. I've got some inspirational stories to share with y'all. Like, we're going to have fun on this channel. So if you're interested in that, please subscribe. Hit that ring, so that bell, so you don't miss it when I post a video. My goal has always been to post one full form video at least once a week. So make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss anything, all right? But once again, Glowells, thank you for watching the Glow and Grow with Mo channel, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.